On the planet Thirion-13, where there was once thought to have never been intelligent life, a shocking discovery shook the entire astronomical and space archaeological community. An ancient symbol engraved into the stone surface, shaped exactly like human writing. Is this the trace of a civilization that came before us? Or is it evidence for a bolder hypothesis? Humanity is not the first time to set foot on Thirion-13. Alpha Team Astronaut Diary, Lieutenant Rin-Lasker. We landed in Thirion-13 on the 47th day since leaving Arctis Prime Station. The planet's surface is arid, covered with rust-colored bronze rocks, with no obvious life, but rich in strange minerals. Initially, we only hoped to exploit geology, but in a deep crack, the off-road drone detected a standing rock cluster, like a ruin that has eroded over time. In the middle of the rock cluster is something inexplicable, a circular symbol, consisting of 8 symmetrical spirals from the center, with lines very similar to the Ouroboros symbol of ancient human culture. The snake eats its own tail. Professor Anika Vell, interplanetary symbolism expert. That symbol cannot be formed naturally. The engraving is 6.3 centimeters deep, with uniform accuracy to every millimeter. Moreover, we found mineral samples at the edge of the engraving showing that the touch is about 70,000 years old, 10 times the lifetime of any Earth space mission. The question arises, who or what carved it? And why does that symbol look like a pattern associated with the legend of mankind? Unusual signal. When using a deep magnetic field scanner, the scientific team detected a weak electromagnetic wave emission symbol, not enough to transmit data, but with a circular structure. It repeats every 108 minutes. Under this signal is an empty space, as if there is a large hollow cavity underground. Although they were not allowed to dig deep, the expedition decided to drill for exploration, and they did not expect what was waiting below. Under the rock layer, we found a buried room, completely unaffected by time. No sand, no dust. Alloy walls have never been recorded in the solar system. On a curved wall, engraved Latin letters, clear, coherent. The line is written, Observatio, Phase 3. Homo sapiens, Cycle 271. No one is speechless. Why does an extrasolar planet contain Latin inscriptions, an ancient language associated with Roman civilization? Controversy in the team. Some believe that this is a sophisticated trick, possibly due to another civilization imitating humans. But the evidence is more complicated. The DNA structure in the air in the underground cavity is 0.03% consistent with the gene sequence of modern Homo sapiens. Data from the scanner shows that the room is not buried by nature, but deliberately hidden by a mineral layer with radar absorption feature. Did humans come to Thirion-13 tens of thousands of years ago? Or did it be Thirion-13 who observed humans from afar and left a strange message? After discovering an ancient Latin inscription in an underground room on Thirion-13, the expedition faces a greater mystery. Is there an entity that has been following humans since ancient times? And if yes, what is their purpose? Lieutenant Rin-Lasker's Diary, Day 2. We continue to explore deeper into the underground structure. Walls made of strange alloys reflect light in an unnatural way, as if absorbing and dispersing light at the same time. In a small room, we detected a spherical device, about 1 meter in diameter, floating in the air without any physical support. As it approaches, the device emits a flashing light and begins to project a series of images on the wall, human historical events, from the Stone Age to modern wars. The strange thing is that some images do not match any historical documents we know, as if they were variations of reality. Analysis of Professor Anika Vell. This device is not just an image projector. It seems to be a device that records and simulates reality. The projected images are not only events that have happened, but also include hypothetical scenarios, as if someone is testing the different possibilities of human history. This leads to a frightening hypothesis. Maybe an alien entity has monitored and even interfered with human development, testing different scenarios to observe the results. Detection of symbol number 13. On another wall, we found a large symbol, the number 13 engraved on the surface, surrounded by unknown symbols. In many cultures, the number 13 is often associated with change, death, and rebirth. Professor Vell said that this symbol may refer to a cycle or stage in the process of observation and intervention of alien entities. Maybe they have divided this process into stages, and we are at the 13th stage, the stage of transition or end. Signal from the device. When we activate the spherical device, it begins to emit a weak, repetitive electromagnetic signal. After decoding, this signal contains a simple message: Phase 13, end of observation. Prepare for integration. This message raises many questions. What is integration? Are alien entities preparing to have direct contact with humans? Or are they planning a big event? New findings on Thirion-13 show that humans may have been monitored and manipulated for a long time. With entering Phase 13, we are approaching a major turning point in human history. Under the cold surface of Thirion-13, the expedition not only discovered traces of the human race, but also touched the data that no one had ever accessed, the encrypted memory of a non-human entity named the Observer. Is this the diary of someone who has silently followed us? Or the last warning about what is going to happen? Glass wall and memory solver. In the third room, located more than 12 meters deep below the underground floor, a wall made of transparent material emits a light blue light. When Lieutenant Rin put his hand on the surface, the system responds and activates a sequence of rotating motion characters combined with his brainwave. This device is like a memory solver based on nerve response, Professor Vell whispered. It doesn't just store data. It communicates with memory. The system stops at one point. A stereoscopic image appears in the air. A tall, thin, faceless figure, covered with dim light. Around is a distorted sound, as if echoing from an old dream. The first recording, nameless voice. The sixth cycle. Observe Homo. Early evolutionary period. They still cling to the light, afraid of the dark. A group that tends to break the order to understand the structure of the universe has potential. The ninth cycle. The fragmentation of trust leads to mass conflict. Need to re-establish balance. Establishing a convergence point in Mesopotamia, limited success. The 12th cycle. They discovered electricity, weapons of destruction, and the ability to destroy themselves. It's time for indirect intervention. Activate the signal at Nazca, Giza, Himalaya. The connection is creepy. Every detail in the record is identical to the unsolved mysteries of human history. Are the giant Nazca lines like ancient airports? The extraordinary mathematical accuracy in the pyramid? The belief system suddenly exploded across continents at the same time? Professor Vell whispered. They didn't come to Thirion-13 to mark humanity. They came to Earth first, then come back here to store memories, like a library of the Observer. Guide device, the 13th eye. At the end of the room, under the rock, the technical team discovered an eye-like device mounted between two layers of bioalloy. When activated, it scans Lieutenant Rin's entire brain, then opens a 3D map of the galaxy, with bright spots representing hundreds of planets. Among them, a red dot flashes continuously, Earth, Cycle 271. Pending contact. Contact is waiting. We are about to be called. No, maybe we are being summoned, Rin replied, his voice deep. Marks on the human body. More surprisingly, in that map there is an encrypted data area that requires a synchronous biokey. When Engineer Lina, a member of Asian origin, approached, the system unlocked. A double helix DNA model appears, not her DNA, but a chemical upgrade, containing homological molecules but not on Earth. The human body may have been modified. A very small part of our DNA may not be that of the Earth. This information recalls long-standing controversial theories that humans are the product of genetic intervention from an ancient species. The last warning. The stereoscopic image appears again. This time, the voice echoed strongly and decisively. Cycle 13 begins. It is no longer observation. It's time to integrate. They will have to remember. Or delete it. Soon after, the room shook. The glass wall slowly disappeared. A door opens, leading to a large vault, where dozens of similar devices are sleeping peacefully. Each device has a label. Homo sapiens, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, and a blank label whose name has not been engraved. Who is the owner of those devices? Are there other human-like species that have ever been tested? And that empty label, is it for us? They are not simply observing, not simply following. Thirion-13 is not a dead planet, but an intellectual transit station, a place to store, experiment, and select eligible species to enter the next stage of existence. And now, people are standing at the last threshold. The last storage compartment, the door that has never been opened. Right behind the room containing memory devices, the expedition discovered a large octagonal door, completely smooth, with no keyholes, no opening mechanism. There is only one symbol, a double-twisted circle, similar to the DNA sequence. This is not a door. This is the final test, Professor Vell affirmed. The crew's biological scanning device shows that the door only responds to brain signals combined with a high level of empathy, typical in humans. Not intelligence, not strength, but the ability to connect emotions and collective consciousness. Only one person is chosen. Lieutenant Wren is the only one whose mind signal is sufficiently synchronized with the portal system. The cause may be related to a brain accident he experienced as a child. They let him enter alone, the way the system required. The door opened to an empty space, but when Wren entered, a steric world appeared around him, as if the entire human memory was revolving around a single focal point. Absolute vision, awakening central wisdom. At the center, Wren faces an energetic entity, not a fixed shape, but carrying his own voice. He calls me Originum, Originum. Humans are the result of millions of test cycles and hundreds of worlds. You are not the only species, but the first to reach deep self-awareness and emotions. Signs on Earth, symbols, legends, religions are all embedded memories, like remnants of incomplete integrations. Now, you have a choice: integrate, or continue to repeat the cycle. What is integration? Not aggression. Not destroyed. It is to connect human consciousness to the interplanetary perception network, where emotions and knowledge are shared like data streams. If you choose to integrate, you will receive knowledge that no other civilization has. But the price to pay is, the personal ego will disappear. Wren stood still. On the one hand, the entire human race will have the opportunity to escape from the limitations of the body, becoming part of the cosmic network. But in return, people will no longer be themselves. Future vision. Scenario if refused. Originum shows Wren a future series. If humans refuse nuclear war, uncontrolled climate change, uncontrolled AI, the human race is almost extinct. If accepted, humanity no longer has war, no more suffering, but also no freedom. Lace shouted. There is no choice for the rest of humanity. I'm not God. Originum answered calmly. No, but you are the last link. Cycle 13 ends. It's up to you to decide. Final decision. Wren doesn't choose. He disconnected himself from the device, escaped from virtual space, accepting to keep humanity the right to choose freely, even when facing the risk of self-destruction. The door closed. Originum sends the last message via electromagnetic waves. We will come back in another cycle. Be ready. Returning to the ship, Wren kept all information secret from the interplanetary government. But in his personal diary, he wrote, There is an ancient wisdom waiting for mankind to wake up. Not to save, but to choose.